And if you don't get betrayal, you'll be nervous. Because that lack of betrayal will make you think, what's wrong here? Something doesn't feel right. Now, those of you who are laughing understand exactly what I'm saying. Those of you who are not laughing, well, listen to those who are laughing. Emotions are buried. Emotions for a person who grows up in a dysfunctional home are buried two ways, either by addictive behavior or by emotional shutdown. Either by training yourself not to feel or finding some addictive behavior that just buries pain. Problem gamblers, people who have gambling problems, start at the age of 12. That's the average age for a problem gambler, age of 12. I wonder what kind of environment produces a gambler at the age of 12. The average age is 12. That means they're starting to regularly gamble, 50% of them, under the age of 12, 8, 7. What kind of home allows that kind of environment where gambling is used as a painkiller? Comfort. Unable to give or receive comfort. Comfort is based on compassion. Compassion only exists when a person has come to a resolution concerning their own pain in their own life. True compassion only comes out of coming to a resolution over our own pain, because that gives us permission and the eyesight to see the pain of others and to embrace that pain without being afraid. The profile of a dysfunctional family: a person who grows up in that kind of home is typically blindly loyal, even as an adult. They'll stay in situations that are painful because they've been trained to endure pain, and they have this instinct that if they're not blindly loyal, the whole place will explode. So they become human glue in relationships where their job is to sustain relationships and not to be the recipient of affectionate relationships. They've grown up in an unsafe and painful place, and they've grown up in the opposite world. In a truly dysfunctional home, the term father doesn't mean an affectionate, loyal, protective man. It means either somebody who's not there or somebody who's abusive. The term mother typically will mean, if the father's abusive, that the mother is a codependent who will not radically interfere with what's going on in the home. Love is blind loyalty. Trust is actually suspicion. And the basic primary words of life are polluted, and they've become instinctual reactions which are actually opposite to the true meaning of the term. You got that? Words lose their meaning in an unhealthy environment. And those same words, unless they're radically changed in adult life, will continue to mean the opposite in adult life. But if you've grown up in a very unhealthy home, one of the positive benefits of it, as that family life background is worked through, is that it typically creates profound sympathy for suffering human beings. Healthy homes often do not produce sympathy for for suffering human beings, because often children in healthy homes are overprotected. But children who grow up in very unhealthy homes typically can have great sympathy for others because they know what pain means. And they know how pervasive it is. But one of the difficulties is fanaticism. When a person becomes a Christian out of an unhealthy home, just pat them on the head once a year and they'll be loyal for the next year. They're so unused to encouragement that a pat on the head goes a long way. They tend to be a bit fanatical. My wife and I were very surprised by our children became Christians. And we were just surprised by their lack of profound religious experience. Because we thought Christianity was the only game in town, and only a fool would turn down Christianity. But they grew up in a relatively stable home. And we protected them, even though we brought strange people into our home. We protected them. And they only became sincere Christians after they failed, which is a prerequisite for a healthy Christian life. A good dose of failure, otherwise known as being a sinner, is a great preparation for Christianity. I'm not recommending that you go out and sin to become a Christian. I'll just inform you that you already are one, and you should become a Christian. A symptom of a dysfunctional home, the person's identity is a deep sense of shame because they feel something was profoundly wrong in the home, and at least one of the parents tried to convince them that they were the reason for what's profoundly wrong. Love is blind loyalty, black and white thinking, unsophisticated thinking, and the danger is the family members will usually respond under adult stresses like they were still back in the home. What you do is the only thing that matters in a performance in a dysfunctional home because that's what keeps you safe. Affection is low and the person has no idea who they are or they have a terrible picture of who they are. And what do you need if you grew up in a dysfunctional home? You need to get to know God the Father really well. He should become the passion of your life because you are the passion of His life. He will treat you well, and the more you discover about Him, the more you will discover things about yourself you like and enjoy. For this reason, Paul writes, I kneel before the Father from whom every family in heaven and on earth takes its name. He's the ultimate and intended Father of everyone. So here are the questions for discussion. And any questions? I have just backed up a Mack truck and dumped it on you, so you might be buried under the information and you're going, I can't breathe. How can I have a question when I'm drowning? But any questions? Yes, back there. And please tell me your name first. Ellen? Ellen? Ellen, yes.
Yes, did you say that a low expectation family is a healthy or unhealthy family?
Now, how did I use low expectation? Give me the context of that. Low expectation. Low affection. Was it low or low expectation? Low affection. Or was it low expectation? Oh, no expectation of reliability. Yeah. The performance-based home, the child in the home has low expectation or no expectation of receiving genuine, openly expressed affection. They have low expectation or no expectation. I'll give you an illustration, and those of you who speak Mandarin can supply the word. At the seminary that I retired from, half of our student body were Chinese Americans. And I asked them one time, what is a Chinese word that's used for children that is affectionate? And they gave me the Chinese word. And then I asked what it meant. And the word meant something like stupid pig. And some of you who are Mandarin speaking, think a while and you'll come up with it. If not, I have it on my cell phone because I recorded it one time. And my jaw dropped. And the Chinese in the room said, oh no, that's a sign of affection. And I said, there's no way in the world that's affection. And they said, well, that's because you're Caucasian. You don't get it. And I said, now wait a minute. The literal meaning of that is stupid pig. And they said, yeah, and it's a sign of affection. And I was just stunned. And then 2 weeks later, I came back and I said, okay, you've given me the word for affection, for liking a child. Can you give me a Chinese word that has a positive meaning that's a compliment and affectionate? And their response was, there is no such word. Now, that is what they've said. That's not what I've said, because I was lost in wonder and awe. But that reflects the idea of low expectation in the area of genuine affection that's given as a gift, where you like the child and for the sheer joy of it, affection and positive words are stated. Other questions? Ellen?
That is if the kid fails college and the family is not pushing him upward, and that is still healthy?
Well, it is a good thing to be pushed to achieve if you're a child. But the greatest motivating force for achievement is always affection and acceptance with clear goals that will pleasantly accept the fact that sometimes the child will fail at meeting those goals. Negative encouragement trains the child to get shut down as they achieve. Positive affection liberates the child to be more creative and open. It's the question, the issue is not ever performance. Children should be trained, young people should be trained to perform, but it's the methodology. And the methodology, I would say biblically, the key word that God uses to describe his approach to human beings is the word encouragement. Just plain old encouragement. That's different than negative criticism. It's encouragement. Now, there is a place for honest criticism. Encouragement plus honesty equals an achiever. Honest goals, an honest critique, but always a self-sustaining affection that makes the child feel valued. Performance is important. No family should take pride in kids who fail. And they should take pride in children who achieve, but they should achieve in an atmosphere of positive encouragement. But that's a whole nother talk. Those are the discussion questions. It's 8:30, so let's take a break.